Well, hello everyone, and happy Saturday morning, afternoon, evening, whatever it is for you, or whenever you watch this. So I just wanted to share some totally random recommendations, some things that I really like that have helped me, and maybe they'll help you. So, like I said, totally random: foot gear, Kundalini, and BO. So let's start with foot gear. So the foot gear that I recommend are going back to our natural type foot gear. And everyone, this fad has been going on. It's not a fad, it's the natural way of letting our foot work properly in shoes by using or wearing shoes that are just like wearing bare feet. And I'm not talking about those shoes with the toes in them. I mean, these came out a long time ago, but I've in the last couple of years, I've started wearing zero shoes. It means zero drop. Zero is actually a brand of this natural foot gear, but it also means zero drop shoes. It means that there's no difference in the height of the shoe, like a running shoe has a higher back. Okay, so it means a zero drop. So it's just like a barefoot would be on the ground, as well as the shoes have really wide and roomy toe box so that your toes can have flexibility and room enough to grow and move and grip like they're supposed to, like you're walking barefoot. So if you're an older person like myself and you're already recognizing that your knees are getting a little wonky and maybe back's out of alignment, I highly recommend looking into these types of shoes. And maybe you're thinking, where do I go to find these shoes? Well, I've put a link in the description box, and it's to a website called naturalfootgear.com. And they have all the articles. Somebody's here. I better put you on pause. Okay, so where were we? So naturalfootgear.com has all the articles describing the benefits of these type of shoes and why the other types of shoes are so bad for you, particularly the ones, running shoes, where they crunch, you don't have enough toe box room for your toes to move. Anyway, I absolutely love my zero shoes. I wear them all the time, almost anywhere. And when I first got them, I was running a little bit more than I am now. And I swear to God, it was the best runs of my life because they just felt so natural. But you must take it slowly. If you're not used to walking barefoot, then you can have I had some injury because I did a little too much too quickly. And so be very, very careful. If you are an older person, when I say older, I guess I mean around 50, your feet start losing the cushion. And so take it slow because you don't want to strain anything, but also you may want to add some extra cushion. And I've had to do that, put in a little thicker insole because it just feels a little too harsh to be that close to the pavement. But here's the number one reason why I love these shoes. Hello, kitty cat. Is that they are not grounding shoes per se. They have rubber soles, so they're not technically grounding soles. But from a spiritual perspective, what they do is, because it's so, you can feel your feet so close to the ground and it's a totally different feel. It keeps your awareness really in your body and towards your feet. And so what does that mean? It means out of your head. So it really keeps you in the body and grounded from that perspective. So naturalfootgear.com, and I think there's like 4 different companies, Zero Shoes, Astral or Astra Shoes, let's see, and Lems. So check out naturalfootgear.com. All right, what else do I want to share? So some random recommendations on some books that I have found really, really lovely. This first book is called Shine Forth, The Soul's Magical Destiny by William Mader. And this is, it's just a lovely book. He speaks from the Theosophical Society perspective, but it's just a beautiful book, and it talks about the soul's destiny, the mechanical elements of the soul, the causal body, all kinds of stuff. And it has, it's really crisp, clean, clear content with a very gentle, beautiful, loving feel to it. It's really, really delightful. It's a very clear book. Highly recommend it. Okay, let's put that down. And I got a lot of books here. And the next book I recommend is called The Divine Thread, The Stillness Sutras. Swami, I won't even try. You'll find it online if you're interested. And this book, The Stillness Sutras, sutras comes from the word suture, but it means thread. And they're just little blurbs about something. And then there's usually a commentary afterwards. So we have the Yoga Sutras, and this is the Stillness Sutras. And this talks about the path to an awakening and enlightenment and Kundalini. And while I'm not so, the sutras themselves are not that exciting, it's the commentary afterwards about Kundalini and just the methods of being still and what goes on in the ego and all that sort of stuff. But the most important part is when you're reading the commentary, the Shakti that comes from this book, the words, there's just, I noticed it, and I had confirmation. My teacher said the same thing, that there's just a beautiful Shakti energy that pulls you into this book. So yeah, once again, The Divine Thread. There you go. And now, if you want more Kundalini information, if you know or feel that you're in Kundalini process and you want to know more, if you want to know more information than you ever wanted to know about Kundalini, then I highly recommend these two behemoths of books. So the first one is called Kundalini Vidya, The Science of Spiritual Transformation. Vidya means science, Kundalini science, and it's from the Pantajali, I think Kashmir Shaivism traditions, all from the very beginning of Kundalini science. This is all wrapped, all the information about Kundalini, and it's by Joan Harrigan, Shivarpita Harrigan. And she studied with the lineage holder for, I don't know how many years, 20 something years. And this book tells you everything you wanted to know about Kundalini process. You probably didn't even know it was so complicated. There are so many different paths Kundalini can take, all the different nadis, the knots, and all. Anyway, highly recommend it, but not exactly an easy read. Okay. But another book that Joan has written is called The Stories of Spiritual Transformation, Kundalini Process. And in this book, it kind of repeats what the other book talks about on a smaller scale. So it's a little bit more ingestible, digestible. But what it is a bunch of personal stories from their students, from the people that have worked with them, that talks about their journey through the Kundalini process. It is a huge, I'm on my third read, so it's such a good book. I very seldom reread books, but this, I keep reading it and reading it, because the personal stories absolutely confirm everything that I have gone through and that what I am going through. And it talks about, they break up the stories in different stages of Kundalini process. The first part of the stories are kind of biographical. The person talks about their life, and that can get a little bit tedious if you're kind of not interested, but those bios are important because they're sharing their growing, their early years in life and growing up. And what they're showing you is they're not any different from you and I. And many of these people came from horrific childhood. You know, they just had a lot of stuff going on. So they weren't special in any way. But then it talks about, you know, their spiritual journey and then reaching this point in Kundalini and reaching Makara and then post Bindu. And then it just is beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. Highly recommend this book if you feel you are in Kundalini process and don't exactly know what to do with it, or you think you're crazy. You are not. So what else? Another Kundalini book. Of course, I'm all about Kundalini. This is called Kundalini, the Master and the Disciple. And this is a person's personal account of traveling around with the lineage holder and teacher who is no longer alive, called Swamiji. He has a much longer name that I cannot pronounce, but so this person was traveling and studying with the lineage holder of Kundalini Vidya, learned a bunch of stuff, talks about his whole own journey. I have not read the entire thing. I've just started it, but I can tell it's going to be good. Probably not so much different than the other stories. Anyway, and my cat is cleaning himself. Isn't that great? Jelly, stop it. Okay, and the final random recommendation that I have is, and where did it go? I have to put you on pause once again. Okay, and my final recommendation is for all you people out there like myself who stress, sweat, or are really good sweaters and tend to, I don't know, you take a shower and you find that your underarms still have a little stank to them. And I've tried antibacterial soaps, I've tried everything, all kinds of different kinds of natural deodorant. Anyway, nothing works until now, until I discovered Remedy soap, tea tree oil, and peppermint. And this stuff does the job. If you have you know, stinky armpits, even after showering, and it's a thing, it's not just me. This stuff absolutely works. And it's just a lovely soap in general. You can use it all over, but you put it in your armpits and you leave it there for 30 seconds or a minute while you're doing other stuff. And then voila, you're done. No stinky armpits. So totally works. Once again, Remedy soap, available on Amazon.com. All right, I hope those recommendations, well, are helpful in some way. Okay, until next time, bye.